My ideal woman is someone with a great understanding of personal space.
She likes me, but maybe doesn't like me.
When I look for love, I'm looking for that best friend that can show it with a simple gaze.
Asexualpeoplemeet.com. It gives you everything that you need to find exactly what you're not sexually attracted to.
It's all right there. You just have to open your eyes and not touch it.
This is where asexualpeoplemeet.com. The box score starts now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins for box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danettes in New York City. Guys, the U.S. Open dominated the sports world this weekend as Jordan Spieth defeated Dustin Johnson to get his second major victory of the year. Paulie, how much will the course conditions cheapen our view of Spieth's win, if at all?
Well, it doesn't cheapen the win because somebody had to win it. And so it's not like he won at a course that's actually probably makes his win more impressive. He was out to, 21-year-old was out to be able to outlast all the veterans who have played multiple courses before. So maybe accentuates it just a little. I'm glad it wasn't the lead. I think it was a big story, but it seems like it is almost every year with the U.S. Open. But you know what, this kid can do no wrong right now, and he's kind of faultless.
Well, it was a hard-fought victory, and Brandel Chambly called in today and fired off about the rough conditions at Chambers Bay.
The golf course was horrific, and it was ugly. And in the end, we said it all week, it could very well boil down to a short putt at the last, which overrides perhaps four of the greatest shots hit in the history of the U.S. Open. Dustin Johnson, the drive and the 5-iron, Jordan Spieth's last two. Tell me four greater shots hit on the 18th hole of the U.S. Open, and in the end, you talk about a missed four-footer, and nobody could say for sure that he didn't do all that was asked of him on that four-footer, and it hit three pieces of Poana, because it certainly bounced plenty.
I really love listening to like golfers talk golf, because they use a ton of like verbiage and slang and stuff that I really have no idea what it means. It rivals baseball. It might even be better than baseball for the words that they use. But even when you talk to somebody, they're breaking down even the grass that's being used. We had somebody last week who was just like, I mean, the grass out there is terrible. They could have used Caribbean blue. Sure. They could have had the Midnight Jets. They could have had the Greenwich pine.
He's like,
and they know all these different strains of grass. Like, what the hell?
Well, it was in Washington State. See what I did there?
You could have gone a little Maui Wowie.
Marijuana reference. Drug reference.
Hybrid with a blue tuft coming right off the top.
Oh, that's right. Hey, McLovin, what's the worst field of play conditions that you can remember that affected the outcome of a game?
Oh. Dude, I grew up going to the Eagles games at Veterans Field, and you could see like giant things of turf coming up, and like 3 players a game broke their legs, as I recall.
There was a player from the Bears, I remember, is a young wide receiver from the Chicago Bears named Wendell Davis. He was a nice player, up and coming. I think he was like in his second year with the Bears, and he was at Veterans Stadium, the Eagles. He stopped a plant. He tore both patella tendons, and his career was over immediately. I don't know how you tear both. I mean, the fact that it's so wild to do one. So the Eagles can take some people down.
The other one, by the way, I'm going to cross Wrigley Field. I always thought the conditions determined the entire outcome of the game, whether it was blowing out or in, the grass was high or tall. So I'd love when the Phillies went into Wrigley and the wind was blowing out, I was like, this is the greatest day.
And it always blew out when Mike Schmidt was up. It's funny because they would be blowing in 40 miles an hour, and then Mike Schmidt would somehow come up and would blow out, and he'd go 3 for 4 with 3 home runs.
Yeah. Rick Russell.
Yeah, that was that was a horrible field. Glad they replaced it. All right, Dustin Johnson's 3-putt on 18 reminded one Danette of a dark moment in his history.
I once struck out though with bases loaded in a baseball game, and we're losing 7-0, and in the bottom of the last inning came all the way back, and it's 7-6, bases loaded, 2 outs, and I K'd. That was it still bothers me, but I would still want to be in Dustin Johnson's position. It still bothers me though.
How old were you?
I don't 11, 12. Yeah, and it like I still think about it and I'm like crushed over it. You know, the part of the story that I left out there, because I just didn't think we had enough time, was that I was on deck and the guy in front of me got on base, and there was 2 outs, and the manager tried to pinch hit for me, and they wouldn't let him pinch hit for me because I had to be hurt. So all of my teammates were like, "Hey, how's your foot? Is your foot okay?" And they were making up injuries for me. And so I got really pissed, and I threw my helmet. I think I yelled the F word. I like kicked over a bag of bats and threw balls and stuff. I had like this huge temper tantrum. And then they were like, "No, sorry, you got to go bat." I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I went up there and K'd, and it was just awful. And I think I K'd trying to bunt for some reason, which just like makes 0 sense in that moment. It was just like a complete meltdown.
But I'll tell you what.
I was crying afterwards, and then I had to take a ride. My parents didn't even show up to the game, so I had to get a ride back with the coach, like the manager, his son, who was the star player, and his 2 best friends, who were like star player, like A, B, and C.
Oh, no.
And then I was in the front seat,
Oh, no.
crying. It was the worst.
Don't you think you would have felt worse if you would have said, like, I'm going to fake an injury and tap out, let someone else get the hit? And today you'd be thinking, man, I was such a you-know-what, because I wouldn't even go up and take my cuts.
And then you have to wonder what might have been.
That would bother me more.
Yeah, I probably would have forgot about it and not revisited it ever. But yeah, it was truly one of my worst moments in life.
Should have leaned in like Rudy in the Bad News Bears. Hey, now, Fritzy, you famously struck out 18 hitters and hit a 2-run bomb in Little League, but you lost that game, as we know. Would you have rather had that game and that outcome, or been able to step into Seaton's situation and knock in the winning run?
Ooh. I think I was a little selfish back in my younger Little League days. I remember throwing tantrums, too, if I was only playing a half a game. I remember going to Kara Schlesinger's bat mitzvah, and I left the party early, which I was having a good time at, to come to the Little League field to only find out that I was only going to be playing 3 innings instead of 6, and I had a major meltdown. But I can totally relate to Seaton's story. And I don't think it was quite at that level, but we were in a playoff game where our team was up by 1 run, and I was pitching 2 outs, bases loaded. It was the bottom of the last inning, and supposedly the manager, who also lived in my apartment building, said, he was trying to get my attention to intentionally walk this kid. Actually, I think it was 2 outs, second and third. First base was open, and we're up by 1 run. And I guess he was trying to get my attention. I wasn't paying attention to him trying to get my attention. I threw a pitch to this kid, Steven. Hits a 2-run double for the Summer League Championship, and we lose by 1 run. And all he can do after the game was, while I'm weeping, he's like, why didn't you walk him? When first base was open. We could have got the next hitter out.
No. And as a pitcher, you should know, first base is open. You pop someone over there.
See, that's
I thought I could get the kid out.
Man. They
even
expect you to know all this situational baseball, and
or to listen to them.
You're like 9 years old. You don't know, and they don't teach you all this stuff.
And the first place trophy was like this, and the second place trophy was like something you would put like in a gumball machine or something.
Do you feel bad that you cost all your teammates the first
I
place
really
trophy?
did. I felt terrible. It was just because if we would have walked this kid, we would have got the next guy out.
Now, when you say we walked this kid, how did we
I guess
walk?
It was me. And I don't. I think it was. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if it was the first pitch or the second pitch. He just crushed it. Like over the right field fence, and because it was the way it was at my Little League field, right field was so small. If you hit it over the fence, it was a double instead of a home run, and he just crushed it across the street.
That's
and
like
then I'm watching him go.
rules.
Yeah, it was really weird. They had to paint one of the poles in right center field. Anything to the right of that was a double, and anything to the left was a home run. And they're celebrating and jump up and down, and
Because of you.
Awful.
Well, the wound's still fresh. Thanks for sharing that. That's what makes the boxcar. All right, coming up, we're talking no-hitters. You know, if life's manager came out to the mound and wanted the lefty, we're going with the Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. Bring them on out. Let's do this. You can climb a hill, tow a boat, and plus it can drop a sinker right on the plate. Call in the lefty. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram.
miles an hour.
Yeah.
Shaking him off.
25.
32. Whoa!
Wow.
Bringing the heat.
Throwing angry.
Take your time.
Kill it, Fritzy.
Coney Island.
33.
Welcome back to the box, or some delightful odd arm pitching by the Danettes there. Well, a hell of a pair of starts for Max Scherzer. He had 2 complete game shutouts, 1 no-hitter with 1 hit allowed, and of course 26 strikeouts. McLovin, who's the one pitcher that you were really glad that you got to see pitch in person?
Well, I was a big Steve Carlton fan until after his career, he went off to live in a cave and said some really weird things. So I'm going to knock him out of there. I guess I'm going to go Nolan Ryan, and also because my Phillies used to clobber Nolan Ryan. He'd lose every time to them. Sorry, Fritzy.
I went to a Astros-Mets game at Shea. It was Nolan Ryan against Dwight Gooden, and I just thought that was the greatest thing. We didn't have tickets, and my dad, may he rest in peace, he was a police officer, and he bought scalp tickets as a police officer just because I wanted to be at this game so bad. I think it was like helmet day, not that I cared because it was a Mets helmet, but one of those little plastic helmets.
It's illegal to buy scalp
It
tickets?
was sold out. It was Ryan against Gooden. We went to the game.
The reason you brought it up is like you're not allowed to buy scalp tickets?
Well, it's kind of illegal. The average police officer would.
So you're saying your dad, like you, had loose ethical standards.
Pretty
on
much.
these things, yeah.
Because I'm the same kid that was like stealing candy from the Little League. So he bought these tickets, and then we bought it from some guy that had like a fake map of Shea Stadium. So he made it look like we were going to be like right behind first base, and the foul pole was like right like here, and I'm like, give me a break. But we were in the building, and he got us in, and it was Ryan Gooden, so it was still pretty awesome.
I feel like I saw Dave Rigetti pitch, but I might be making that up.
Dave Rigetti?
Yeah.
That's a big deal?
I don't know, for me, it was.
He had that big no-hitter on July 4th.
I saw Dwight Gooden's first game, his first career debut. It was in Wrigley, at Wrigley, April of '84, but nobody knew who he was at the time, and he got torched by the Cubs.
Topper.
I thought we were going around the horn. Actually, it doesn't top Nolan.
We all went, yeah.
It doesn't top Nolan Ryan Gooden.
Actually, I saw Mariano Rivera.
But I have no
bunch.
idea if I ever saw Nolan Ryan pitch. I just kind of picked that name out of
Isn't it weird that that's the name I came up with, Dave Rigetti? What the hell's that all about?
Yeah, Dave Rigetti.
Yeah, he's a great pitcher. I saw Al Raboski, the Mad Hungarian, and he went behind the pitcher's mound and got all fired up. Fritzy, would you rather have won the U.S. Open or throw a no-hitter?
I would go with the no-hitter mainly because I'm just much more into baseball than golf. And even though several people have, the no-hitter has become not as big a deal in recent years, that for me, because I played Little League and I just was much more passionate about baseball than golf, I would go with the no-hitter.
You're on the tennis team in high school.
I was barely on the tennis
golf,
team.
Though.
Not golf.
Who was the guy? All right, this no-hitter we know about. Who's the guy? Didn't someone throw in like 3 weeks ago? Can you even remember who that was?
Someone on the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah.
Chris Cordero or something. I don't remember the guy's name.
Chris Cordero, the reliever for the Reds? Yeah, I don't think it was.
Would anyone else want a no-hitter over winning the U.S. Open?
You know what? I get where Todd is coming from, because I was a baseball fan long before I was a fan of golf. And so you spent a lot of time on the mound as a kid throwing into an empty backstop, imagining that you're, throwing a no-hitter for the Yankees or something. So I get that. You could sort of tap into your childhood a little bit. Yeah, I could go with that, a no-hitter. It's pretty awesome.
Well, they tapped into their childhood on the celebration for Scherzer. They put chocolate syrup all over him, Paulie. Now, it's kind of gross, ruins your no-hitter jersey. I mean, what is the ideal no-hitter celebration?
I don't mind the whipped cream. It's white. It comes off pretty easily. Most of the uniforms of baseball have white in them. I don't know where the chocolate sauce came from. I think it was pretty terrible. The guys got to do interviews with chocolate sauce all over them. Baseball players have a lot of free time. They don't do much besides sit around and watch their friends play baseball, because baseball is the most dormant game there is as far as activity. And so they have a lot of time to think of stuff. And someone came up with this one and said, this is the day to do it.
Because it's like the only thing that can make it sweeter is chocolate.
Yeah.
Syrup on top of a sundae kind of thing.
Why not like a bag of marshmallows just cascade off his head and don't ruin the moment?
I would be more of a fluff guy.
Yeah, fluffernutter.
Yeah,
little cheese whiz.
Yeah, maybe you could bring a fluffer in there.
This is all making me hungry. Hungry for a mock headline battle royale. That is next. Chocolate syrup optional. We are back in the box score. Gentlemen, we are hitting our annual slowdown in sports. So if you're straight outside to see the sun, hey, we got you covered on everything you missed. So it's time to have another edition of
Mock Headline Battle Royale.
I give you a headline, you give me a mock headline. First off is Dustin Johnson's 3-putt on 18 loses the U.S. Open, of course, to Jordan Spieth. Let's start to the far left, and McLovin.
Okay, 3 putts. Dustin off the excuses after terrible mistake on 18.
Right. Let's go to the far end with Paulie.
The great 1 putt. Johnson took 3 and lost the Open.
Ooh. For the father-in-law, Fritzy.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the one I tweeted out last night. I'm Speethless. DJ chokes at 18.
Oh, you didn't do speech impediment.
And finally, Seton, your mock headline.
Mine is Speed swallowed, Johnson chokes.
Whoa. And the crowd roars. Second headline, Munster truck driver Tom Meents lands a double backflip at Munster Jam. Come on, you gotta be kidding me. Front row Paulie.
What the truck? Monster truck rally in Boston?
Oh boy.
I'm glad I got that first.
Fritzy.
I'm going to go a little Jeff Foxworthy. If you knew anything about this achievement, you might be a redneck.
Elitist.
All right, to the redhead, Seton.
This one's a little bit of a redemption story. Double back crip means driving away from Gangbanger Pass.
I like it.
That's good.
No, not at all. But it crip rhymes with flip.
Yeah, maybe he was the King Kong Munster truck. And finally, McLovin.
I also have what the truck. I printed it out before, so I didn't steal it for Bali.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me a guy flipped over a truck in midair twice? What the truck?
The crowd turns. Our third headline, Kimbo Slice escapes chokehold and then knocks out Ken Shamrock in the first round. Fritzy, let's start with you.
I went Shamrock shaken, Kimbo slices and dices. Almost doing something about green stool.
Green
but I
stool,
left
yeah, you should have got green
I
stool.
came close to, I couldn't think of something.
Let's go to your right with
Stool.
Seton.
Green stool.
Arms akimbo, Shamrock sliced.
Akimbo. Love that word.
That was
And
Kama
he's
Sutra.
standing there, arms akimbo.
McLovin.
Let's go with Kim Boner. Slice pops out a chokehold to beat Shamrock.
What?
Boner.
Boner.
I thought speed swallowed in the bad one.
Boner, you said.
You can say boner, right?
I
Boner.
don't see why not.
Paulie.
Boner's a boner.
What a total shamrock. UFC old timer has to hang him up.
Amen to that.
Oh.
Shamrock sees stars, not his lucky charm. And finally, our last headline. Horse owned by Wes Welker wins Diamond Jubilee Stakes at Royal Ascot. Front row Seton.
In related news, Welker thrilled to find out he owns a horse.
Oh,
Wow.
Concussion joke.
He forgot. Concussion joke.
Fritzy.
Jubilation. A Bronco has a stallion. Welker, what do you know?
All right. Now, there's a lot going on in there. That's a bad
It's a little
rule.
crowded.
Back was padded. All right, Paulie.
I'll take concussion issues to place in the fourth. Welker's horse wins the Jubilee Stakes.
Nice.
Good one.
And finally, McLovin.
Horseplay, question mark? Former Patriot wins Diamond Jubilee. Did he cheat?
Ooh. This is close, but the mock headline
tell you what's
championship
behind the
vote goes
Oh,
to
wow.
Seton. Congratulations.
Oh my God.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Of
Accept this
course,
to share it with
he'll
no
give it
one.
away to someone. All right, don't go away. We're taking a break here on the box score to remind you that the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best in class towing, torque, and horsepower, doesn't need one. That's your headline right there. I'll get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram. Welcome back to the box score. Closing up shop here at the Saloon. A bar, a perfect place to talk about beer. And Duquesne Brewery in Pennsylvania is going to be brewing and canning a beer named after Joe Paterno, and it is available in August. Now, Seton, is beer exempt from the too soon conversation?
Wow, yeah, I don't know. I guess a lot of people are going there with that. Yeah, I don't know.
This is one of those topics when I printed out, I wasn't really sure where to go with it. I just kind of put it on the rundown. guys like us can't make jokes in any way off a topic like this. You have to be a professional comedian who does it for a living, like Jeffrey
Right.
Ross or Artie Lang or Sarah Silverman could actually
And even
make.
they would get in, like, it's like, I mean, they
It's
might
so
not.
off color.
but-
I mean, it's so off color that the things that could go through your head that guys like us could never say or make jokes upon. But you know, that's you got to know what you can talk about and what you can't.
You could have like Happy Hour and Happy Valley and keep it like safe like that. But if you're
But
gonna
that's
start
not
going,
funny.
no, it's not as funny as some of the horrible, dark things that you can come up with.
Well, yeah. Well, jokes aside, Paulie, would you crack open a Vienna-style Joe Paterno beer?
If it tasted good, yeah. I mean, it's not like you know, wouldn't bother me at all.
All right.
I probably wouldn't.
Well, I went through the bar and found some other celebrity beers that might fit you guys. So let's start here with McLovin. For you, I have the Game of Thrones 3-beer series from Omegang. What do you think of that thing there?
Yeah, except like about every third one is poison.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you could die.
Well, for Paulie, we have for you the Taste of America. It's Billy Beer, the beer that was shilled by Jimmy Carter's younger brother. Did you ever get a chance to taste that?
Oh,
boy.
Yeah, I have a buddy who collects beer cans, and he does have a couple Billy beer cans. I thought you were
No
going to go
kidding.
Sweetness. Sweetness. Walter Payton's son has a beer that I haven't tried yet, but I'm shocked that I haven't tried yet.
Well, for Seton, for you, sir, it's Tom Green's Milk Stout by Beau's All Natural Brewing Company of Canada. Have you had a chance to get a taste of that?
No, I've never heard of it. So I bet Tom Green is tasty though.
Mm-hmm. Tasty individual.
I don't doubt that.
Milk stout.
Of course. And finally, Fritzy, for you, here it is. It'll be Hebrew's Bittersweet Lenny's Rye IPA, brewed in honor of comedian Lenny Bruce.
Lenny Bruce.
That's very nice. A little, just grab a bottle, head over to the Catskills, and kick back. And I like that. I like that. It makes me want to even consider having beer, even though I don't drink. But that's for Lenny Bruce, I would do that.
Well, we appreciate that. All right, Mr. Todd Fritz, who is on tomorrow?
Former Kentucky big man Karl Anthony Towns will join us. Former Wisconsin forward Sam Decker will be with us, as well as Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski of the Duke Blue Devils, as we get ready for the NBA draft just days away.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We are back tomorrow, same time, same channel. If you want to download the iTunes like our buddy John, you can do that. Big Lightning fan, sorry about that. And of course, it's also available on podcast1.com. Cheers.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!